Isaiah 1 and 19 says, if you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. If you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured by the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. Y'all get too comfortable. Y'all make me nervous. You look sleepy. I got something for y'all tonight, boy. I know what we've been talking about, but we're talking tonight. We're still doing an extension of spiritual warfare. Because, see, people, do you not know there is a spiritual warfare, but the same warfare, Paul said, is by being experienced by your brothers that's in the world. See, the devil know they're not saved, but the thief comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. So his objective here is to kill them. But God, even though they're in sin, even though when we were in sin, God would not allow the devil to kill us. Hello? Just like you get your lights turned off, sinners get theirs turned off. You get sick, they get sick. The people, well, don't think because you got saved, then all of a sudden you got put in a bubble and you going through something ain't nobody else going through. See, we're going through some of the same junk we went through before we got saved, but now we got somebody to help us.
Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Amen.
That's what makes it better. Jesus said, I am come that they might have life. He came that the world could have an opportunity, that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly, but you have to accept him. Can anybody hear what I'm saying? And in your savedness, you got to learn how to stop being a pushover. Well, amen. You just can't succumb and give over. Like Deke was talking about Sister Taylor. I call her warden sometimes. Sometimes I tell him, put him on lockdown. She said, I got it, Apostle. Listen, you got to have enough. I'm not saying it for no hot dog. I never used the testimony. I left it until Sister Taylor told me one day she met. Deke died right back there in the back. When they came to get me, and I went back, Sister Taylor told me, she said, I never forget. She said, it looked like you were hovering over the floor when you came in there. And I kneeled down, and I was holding his head in my lap. And I'm looking at him. And his eyes had glared over. My son Michael was standing there. Michael kept saying, Daddy, Deke's dead. I said, be quiet, Michael. And I looked at him again, and his eyes were just glared, just like that. And Michael said, Daddy, Deke's dead. I said, be quiet, Michael. And the Holy Ghost spoke to me and said, rebuke death. As I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And all of a sudden he said, what's going on? He didn't know he was on the floor. And when the paramedics came, the ambulance sat out there for a while before they even left. They out there talking. Told Sister Taylor and we're going to be praying for y'all. Got over to the hospital, went to go tell the ambulance driver, we talking to the admitting nurse, and said, I need to go say something to the ambulance. They said, what ambulance? When he had that stroke, and I walked in, and he couldn't even raise his arm up. He couldn't move his leg. Look at him now. He walking around there like. Let me tell y'all something. Somewhere down the line, you have to get to the point where you're going to break the crust. Somewhere down the line, you have to get to the point where you're going to tell yourself, it stops right here. I'm talking about psychological warfare. Because the enemy, he's going to mess with your head. And don't you ever fool yourself. Once the devil know a door is there, he's going to continue to try to go through it. And all this stuff they're talking about, all these different medications and different stuff they tell you, and when you listen to the side effects, they say it so fast. And then talking about it could cause blood clot. Sometimes it could cause death. What you talking about? You're going to tell me that I'm going to take some medicine and it could cause, it could. Now, they're talking about all these people out there, but they're giving people, they're legalizing medication that's going to cause people to be suicidal. And if you've had problem with suicidal thoughts, you need to talk to your doctor before you take this. Because you could get jacked up, sure enough. And then you go out and commit suicide, and they, well, what? Why? The pharmaceutical company is not going to take responsibility for it. You're going to take something because you want to breathe better, but it could cause, they got stuff just put on your skin. And man, I'd rather live with scales on me and be alive than have clear skin and go jump out in front of an 18-wheeler where she died with clear skin. And when you start talking about obedience, this is what you got to remember. You cannot judge holiness by what some people call holiness. Get anybody hear what I'm saying tonight? Holiness is pure. Holiness is unadulterated. And you got to keep yourself unspotted from the world. You can't allow the world to tarnish you. It ain't about the world came over and you had an affair. You allowed the world to get too close to you. You drop your guards, and that you used to deem wrong, now ain't nothing wrong with it. That's why I ain't found nothing in the Bible about no praise dancers. Somebody, if you ever see some praise dancers here, you say, well, Apostle lost. Why are we going to have praise dancers? Young ladies look like fairies jumping around with flags and all kinds of stuff. And here's a poor brother. He got to pick her up and hold on his hand. And got his hand in the abdomen there, holding her up. They demonstrating all this and both of them weak as well water. Flesh burning them up. He got his hands all over you. Y'all out there praise dancing. And here's a poor brother, been sexually active, been out there in the world. And then he just got saved. And there you come dancing and all this, spinning and turning all in front of him. Ain't Jesus ain't in none of that. And he over there praying, trying to say, God, keep me. Please, Lord, keep me. I want to stay saved. Jumping around like almost like you in pajamas, like you got a shoe. You took off the curtain rod. And that's all about Jesus. He said the young and old going forth in the dance together. That's a different, we talking about praising God in the dance. We ain't talking about folks out here demonstrating and falling all on the floor and rolling and all that kind of junk. Don't you know when you got that sheer on, that's just like you have it on a gown? And a butt is a butt. What, it's got heavy clothes on it or thin clothes? You don't want to be a stumbling block before your brother. You don't want to cause your brother to sin. All these grown folks in here, I can drop down a little deeper than that. These little fellas get all wired up and God help me. And let me tell y'all something. Little sisters and brothers in the church, you ain't got no business putting your hands on each other. Because you get all warmed up and then you go home and then you're masturbating and going on. If you ain't careful, that's a demon to get in there. See, that's why women They start loving, and let me tell you something, they got so much junk on TV now with women kissing and hugging on each other, all kinds of junk. And when you can accept a spirit like that, it's not about being with a man, it's about being, your sexual arousement has been satisfied, but it's by a demon spirit. It only just little boys. I'm mad at the devil. Man. I told him today he couldn't mess with you. He made me mad. Let me preach tonight. Make me mad. You can have junk going on in your house and you don't even know what's going on in your house. Folk get caught up in fantasy worlds, stirring themselves up. Some of y'all just don't know. All this junk that's on the internet, every time your child is playing with a phone, you better make sure, because every time they're playing with a phone, they're not playing a game. And see, like now, it's not hard to find a website. I got some stuff I'm going to bring y'all. I'm going to work on this obedience tonight. I'm trying my best to work on it. See, the reason a lot of people get in trouble, they won't do what God told them. That's why people don't like this church. Apostle Roger's going to bring the mail. People can tolerate me, but when they got to just deal with me on a day-to-day basis, it's different. And see, when you have an apostle for a pastor, you don't have a regular pastor. That means, because his ministry is not a regular ministry. That means he's going to blow up stuff, tear up stuff, then he got the ability to fix stuff. Everybody can't handle it. Some folk got to have a pastor. I'm not knocking a pastor, but they got to have that kind of a ministry because they can't handle it. Even Peter said, man, Paul said some things hard to be uttered. I know I'm saved, but Paul said some things that's hard to be uttered. Hard to repeat what he said. You got to whoop you. You got to whoop you at all times. Getting close to Thanksgiving when folk come over, relatives come over, you still got to maintain your sanctification. You don't change because the devil come over to your house. Well, I don't want nobody saying, well, don't come. I'll eat this turkey by myself. I'll bust these trotters by myself. Let me try my best to get to the scripture. Going to the book of Daniel. And I'm going to try my best to pull this out in the book of Daniel. And if I might suggest to us tonight before I get into the depthness of this, God can use anybody he wants to. And they don't have to be saved for God to use them. Isaiah 44 and 45, we find out about Cyrus. And God called Cyrus my beloved. God called Cyrus his anointed. And Cyrus was a pagan king. But God used him. And he used Cyrus to build a temple back. He used Nebuchadnezzar to whoop the children of Israel back in place. When the prophecy went forth, 70, you going to do. Somebody said, I know the thoughts I think toward you. No, let me tell you something. That's what God said he wanted to do, but your disobedience won't allow me to do that. You're going to do 70. And he used Nebuchadnezzar to whoop Israel back in line. But even after that, can anybody hear me? When you are not saved, if God has put his favor in your life and you don't recognize God, God will still come after you. God used Nebuchadnezzar. But then God warned Nebuchadnezzar. And he wouldn't take heed. in Daniel 4, Nebuchadnezzar had a vision. And Daniel told what the vision was. And I'm not going. You can read that for yourself. Is that all right? Verse 24 says, Daniel 4 and 24 says what?
This is the interpretation.
This is the interpretation.
O king.
O king.
And this is the decree of the Most High.
And this is the decree of the Most High. This is what God's getting ready to tell you. Read the Bible.
Which is come upon my Lord the king.
Come on.
That they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beast of the field.
Now listen. Warning cometh before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. This is what he said. They shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. Read.
And they shall make thee to eat grass of oxen.
Come on.
And they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven.
Read.
And 7 times shall pass over thee.
God, he says 7 times it's going to pass over you to what?
Thou know that the Most High ruleth.
Wait a minute. 7 times it's going to pass over you until you know. See, he got too big. And if we're not careful, you keep bucking against God. Come on and read.
That the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Uh-oh. In other words, I want you to know the Most High. The Most High. Now, this is a pagan king. God said, I want you to know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Read the Bible.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Can anybody? Donald Trump's in trouble. He'll give it to whomsoever he will. Come on.
And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots,
Come on.
thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee.
This is he told me, Jeff, when the tree was cut down and they left the stump, your kingdom is going to be here. But God said, I'm going to put some on you. Because you wouldn't do what I told you. Read what the Bible says.
After that thou shalt have known that the heaven do rule.
Uh-oh.
The heavens.
After I get through with you, you're going to know where the boss is. See, sometimes we forget who is in charge. If we're not careful, we think we can wiggle a little bit. It ain't no wiggling. Holiness is straight. Holiness is tight. Come on and read.
Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto thee.
Listen to how humble the man of God is. Let what I told you be. Hear what I'm saying, King. Read the Bible.
And break off thy sins.
Get out of here. What? Break out what?
Thy sins.
Stop doing your mess. You give it Nebuchadnezzar a warning. Stop doing your breakout. Stop committing sin. God will say that to the king. You mean he won't tell you? Come on.
By righteousness and thine iniquities, by showing mercy to the poor.
See, he was a bad Nebuchadnezzar. Whoever Nebuchadnezzar said live, live. Whoever he said died, died. He was the man. He was the tree. He was the one that everybody lodged and took cover of. Wasn't nobody big. He was the baddest thing it was. Read what the Bible says.
If it may be a lengthening of thy tranquility.
In other words, if you do this, it could be a lengthening. You could last a little while longer. Your reputation and your status could be here if you do what I'm telling you. Read what the Bible says.
And all this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar.
Man, this is what the man of God told him. Watch what's getting ready to happen. Read the Bible.
At the end of 12 months,
come on,
he walked in the palace.
A year later, after he'd been warned, he walked in the palace, and what did he do?
Of the king of Babylon.
Read.
The king spake.
What did he say?
And said,
what?
It is not this great Babylon. Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the...
Hold it. Is this not this great Babylon that I have built? Sometimes we forget who woke us up this morning. Sometimes we forget who started us on our way. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget when we didn't have nothing and where God brought you from. Sometimes we forget all the time God healed our body. We won't give him praise. God did this, and we won't give him testify. We won't testify to his glory. He said he's a jealous God. One thing God hates is a proud look. He can't stand a proud look. Because a proud look means it's like your glory. You did it. It's me. I don't need no help. I don't need nobody. I'm bad. Nebuchadnezzar going to pop off. Is this the great Babylon I built? Watch what happened. Read.
That I have built for the house of the kingdom of the mighty by the might of my power,
Come on.
and for the honor of my majesty.
In other words, me, I did it. My power for my majesty. Watch what happened. Read.
While the words was in the king's mouth,
While he was still talking, the words was in his mouth. What happened?
there fell a voice from heaven,
There came a voice from heaven.
saying,
What?
O King
O king.
Nebuchadnezzar,
Yes.
to thee
To
it is
thee it is spoken. Come on.
the kingdom is departed from thee,
God said, I took your kingdom. You ain't seen nothing. Watch what happened. Come on and read.
and they shall drive thee from men,
Just what in verse 25. Now here's in 32. And they shall drive thee from men. Come on.
and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field.
Read.
They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen,
Uh-huh.
and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men,
Uh-huh.
and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
And he can give it, he can take it from him and give it to whoever he want to do. Watch what he said. Come
The
on.
same hour
The same hour.
was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar.
You know, I was studying, and in my studying, I found these words. You have to be real careful with commentary. Is that right? And the word is zoanthropy. Zoanthropy is spelled Zoanthyropy. Zoanthyropy. And you know what it is? This is what science say, psychologists say. It's the delusion that one becomes an animal. So what God did to Nebuchadnezzar, there's some psychological warfare. Man has a term where one starts feeling as if he has become an animal. So Nebuchadnezzar didn't really experience it, he just thought it. And then there's another word called boanthropy. 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 And it is a psychological disorder. Woo. In which the sufferer believes that he or she is a cow or an ox. And in the definition it said the most famous sufferer of this condition was King Nebuchadnezzar, who in the book of Daniel, quotation, was driven from man and did eat grass as an ox. Man got a turn for everything. In other words, what man is trying to do, say, that really didn't happen because there's a psychological thing that you can go through where you think. And then they gave an illustration. The best illustration is from the very King James Bible, the book of Daniel, where King Nebuchadnezzar had a psychological disorder.
Yes, he did.
He had a problem. He thought he was an ox. He had a problem. He was out there nipping grass. Y'all not know man is constantly trying to explain away. Now, if you fall for that, what happened to Nebuchadnezzar really didn't happen. He only thought he was an ox. But he had a psychological disorder. Can anybody hear me? and he believed that he's a cow or an ox. No. But I'm talking about being obedient. See, he disobeyed God. And when he disobeyed God, God put his hands on him. What I'm saying to us as saints of God, what we want to be doing, I'm not talking about being saved. After you get saved, you got to make sure you are fulfilling everything God has commissioned you to do. And I'm not talking about just trying. No, you got to do it. Because God ain't saying, well done, thy good and faithful servant, and it wasn't well done. And that's where the psychological warfare comes in, because you got to battle as to whether or not you're going to do what God said. And then you have to battle with how much of it will you do. Do you want to make a B or a C, or if you want to make an A? If you make an A, that means you did it all. You made a B, you made less than an A. You grade yourself. Watch what happened. Verse 33 says, what now?
The same hour.
The same hour.
Was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar.
We ain't talking about nothing in his head. This happened. What happened to him?
And he was driven from men.
He was driven from men.
And did eat grass as oxen.
Come on and read.
And his body was wet with the dew of heaven.
Come on.
Till his hairs were grown like eagles. Feathers. And his nails like bird claws. And at the end.
Hold. Can y'all imagine? Here's the king. And his hair grew out like eagle feathers. That was a varmint, wasn't it? And his fingernails grew out like bird claw. No, he ain't imagining nothing. This ain't, he ain't thinking he's no cow, no ox. This is what he is. That's a varmint. Hair look like eagle feathers. And then he got fingernails look like bird claws. And he out there with the oxen and the asses eating grass. Read a little further.
And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar.
Now watch this. He's finna start talking now. Watch this. Talk about psychological warfare. Sometimes what we're going through is God's way of getting our attention. And after God gets our attention, then he don't have to worry about us no more. See, Nebuchadnezzar, his hair looked like eagle, bird feather, and his nails looked like eagle claw, but his mind was still functioning. He said at the end of the day, watch this. Now, he's giving his report. See, the little commentary don't even say nothing about what he said. He wasn't saying, well, I thought I was an ox. No, I'm still sitting up on the throne, but I'm telling them, don't bring me a steak. Bring me a bale of hay. No, bring me some heavy duty. Bring me some chop. No. Watch what happened. Read the Bible.
I, Nebuchadnezzar,
lifted
up mine eyes unto heaven.
Look, he knew where his deliverance was. He lifted up his eyes to heaven, and what did he do?
And mine understanding returned unto me.
Can anybody hear what the scriptures just said? This man's mind was taken from him. He said, my understanding. If it returned, that means it left. My understanding returned to me. Let me tell you something, baby. You're putting yourself in a dangerous spot. The Lord described disobedience as a spirit of witchcraft. Let's see what else happened. Some of y'all ain't even read this before. Read.
And I bless the Most High.
Who? Oh, a while ago he was talking about I. Is this the I built it? He said, I bless the Most High. Read the Bible.
And I praised and honored him.
What? Come on.
That liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion.
I wish somebody else could hear. Some of y'all need to write that down and put it somewhere in your house. Come on and read.
And his kingdom
And his kingdom.
is from generation to generation.
Come on, Nebuchadnezzar. Talk, boy. Read the Bible.
And all the inhabitants of the earth
What?
are reputed as nothing.
Boy, this boy's talking now. He got delivered. Come on and read.
And he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven
Got up in the army of heaven. He do whatever he want to in heaven. Read.
and among the inhabitants of the earth.
God help us. Come on.
And none can stay his hands
Can't nobody stop him
or say unto him,
or say unto him,
What doest thou?
what are you doing? No. Ain't nobody say that. What Nebuchadnezzar? He got delivered. Read the Bible.
At the same time,
At the same time,
my reason returned
oh,
unto
wait a minute. First, his understanding came back. Now, his reason. Psychological warfare. Ooh. Now, my reason, my ability to decide between the two, which one makes most sense. My ability to take two or three things and discern which one is right and which one is not. To take something in and come up with a conclusion as to what the benefit is or what's the conclusion, the end results is going to be. Read the Bible.
At the same time, my
At the
reason
same time, my reason.
returned unto me.
I mean, it left. It came back. Come on.
And for the glory of my kingdom,
What?
mine honor and
What?
brightness returned
Get out of
unto
here.
me.
My honor and my brightness. My sharpness of mind. Boy, God stripped him, didn't he? My brightness returned. Read the Bible.
And my counselors
What?
and my lords sought unto me.
Let me tell y'all something. While he was out there nipping that grass and all that, ain't nobody going to get on his throne either. You don't find out what nobody got up on that boy's throne. He might be out there nipping some grass and crawling around and going on. I'm not getting on that throne because he might come back. And if he come back and I'm sitting up there with his crown on, my head's rolling. I believe they had a prayer meeting. God, do something for us. We're in a bad spot. We don't know what to do. Our king out there running around eating grass like an ox. We can't pass no business. We can't do nothing. We ain't nobody. Somebody said, "You be the king." No, you be no. I told y'all when the Lord sent me to Atlanta, Atlanta was good for me. Having gone down there for almost 4 years, God had time where he took me and stripped me down. There were some things that happened in Atlanta was embarrassing. But it was for my making. Because God was making me. Some things I ain't said nothing about to nobody. Pastor knows some things, but it was for my making. When I told y'all the other week, my faith turned the corner. I'm in a zone now. I don't care who leave. I don't care who come. I'm not begging nobody to come. I'm not begging nobody to stay. If you want to stay where you are, stay where you are. If you want to go, hit it. Because God's going to be God all by himself. He don't need no help. You hear what God is telling? All God got to do is start shaking folks up. We can't open the church doors early enough. He's not finished. Let Nebuchadnezzar finish. Come on.
And I was established in my kingdom.
And God put him right back where he was. He said he's going to do it. He told him what? He said he left a stump. Remember? When the tree was cut down, he left a stump. And that stump represented his kingdom. His kingdom wasn't taken from him. Read.
An excellent majesty was added unto me.
Wait a minute. He went through all of this. God beat him down to nothing, had him out there looking like a fool, gave him his reason back, his understanding back, gave him his counselors and all that back. Understanding came back. And then watch what he said. Now, he said, and after all that, God added some stuff he didn't have at first. People of God, you don't know what God's going to give you if you go through. You don't know what the payoff is going to be if you go through. Stop expecting to be saved and be on a picnic. Stop expecting to be saved and you're on a hiatus somewhere in Jamaica on a cruise ship, sipping on a pina colada or something. This is a suffering way, but it's a rewarding way. And the Holy Ghost, whether you like it or not, sometimes the Holy Ghost will embarrass you. Amen. Sometimes he's going to embarrass you real good just to see how much humility do you have. I thought, God, why would God do me like that? Well, who are you? Everybody else got to be tried. Jesus was embarrassed. The Bible says in his humiliation, his life was taken from him. And you mean to tell me you can't get humiliated? You all of that, you so saved, if God humiliated you, that's an insult. Folks about, well, Pastor, I don't want nobody saying nothing about me. Don't worry about me. I got it. People don't, one thing I've gotten past people can say what they want to say. They can do that. It just don't bother me. I told y'all Atlanta was good for me. All them nights down there by myself, cooking, all of this. Sister Rogers up here. Then she come down there, then she leave. Sometimes she come down on the morning and Pastor leave, and she ride back the same day. About me being made. It wasn't about how I felt. It wasn't about me having company. Me, that's your wife. She needs to be here beside you. She needs to be talking. You need to be talking to her. But if God was making me, he was making her. Whew. Come on and read that, sister.
An excellent majesty was added unto me. Now I...
Oh, all that was added. Is that in y'all's Bible? Sometimes God got to do some subtracting before he can. Sister Jack, I'll get a high five. I'll get a high five. Oh, that means sometimes God got to do some subtracting before he can do some adding. And when Nebuchadnezzar came out, man, this boy, he's a better man. Man, he got all this wisdom, excellent, all this, man, he's just shining almost. Like somebody like God just polished him. Read what the Bible says.
Now I, Nebuchadnezzar,
does what?
Praise and extol and honor the King of heaven.
What? Read.
All whose works are truth.
All his works are truth.
And his ways judgment. And those that walk in pride, he is able to abase.
Somebody needs to send that to Donald Trump. All that walk in pride, God's able to bring you down. I know y'all say, I'm going to let y'all go back and look over that, and you can see what I'm talking about. Man, God's awesome. You got to love God, though. Can anybody hear me? You got to love God. It ain't about you. Can anybody say amen? When you join Uncle Sam's army, Uncle Sam don't ask you what rank you want to be. You go in there, I want to be a lieutenant colonel. And they're going to tell you, go down there so they can fit you out for your uniform. And you ain't here to lick at a snake. And you come back in there, God, man, you're a lieutenant colonel. Ain't done nothing. Didn't go a day of boot camp. He's awesome. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're going to be something in God, you're going to go through something. And where the psychological warfare comes in with most people is when you start battling against what God said. Because, see, he that keep his mind stayed on me, God said, I'll keep you in perfect peace. This boy that played with the Philadelphia Eagles, they got all kinds of, man, they got root workers, folk doing all kinds of stuff, trying to help him out. Because he has anxiety so bad. You out there on the sideline, you making millions. And you out there so sick because of anxiety. What's going on? You over there throwing up. You throwing up so they got to take you to the dressing room. Anxiety. They had Iron Mike. The other day they was interviewing him. He was talking about the demons within. And sometimes people fail to realize, if y'all ever notice, like Steph Curry, you never see him with all them tattoos and stuff on him. He's clean. Jason Kidd was the same way. Luka Doncic, he got the all-seeing eye of Osiris on his forearm. You don't get a tattoo if it means something to you. LeBron James is already a part of. Where y'all think they get these super abilities from? They sold themselves to the devil. And he don't have a little one. He's got showing up a big one. So everybody can see it. And everybody praising him. Nobody get mad at him. Boys that didn't have no tattoo whooped their head. I'm just saying, they whooped their head. They didn't have no tattoo. My point is to us, saints of God, in being obedient, you have to make in your mind, God, I'm going to do your will. And everybody can't pastor you. Some folk got to have the right kind of a pastor. Some folk got to have a pastor that's going to hit you right between the eyes. Bam! And then just leave you there. And then come back later after you saw them little birds and there's still no chirping and going on and spiritually. And then come back and bandage you up. Devil don't want you to know the truth. Devil don't want you to know the truth. That's why my own daughter, the devil don't want her to come to church. Because if she come to church, she can't help but get better. That's right. Because you know what? She's going to feast off that word, and that spiritual man is going to get stronger, and the fleshly man is going to get weaker. And when the spiritual man gets to the point where he stands up above the flesh, he's going to tell the flesh, sit down. It's going to become an effort. They don't be pretty. It's going to be a fight. You have to fight. I'm talking about just like you going at it toe to toe with somebody. You go out. I'm talking about when they hit you, bam, and you think you're going down. You go have to stagger and then get yourself back together and just let's try it a little bit more. I'm talking about when the enemy, and listen, it ain't always you going to stand there, bam, let the enemy hit you, and bam, and let it, no. You got to learn how to do this now. Ain't nobody hear what I'm saying? You got to learn how to weave and bob a little bit. You got to learn how to throw them some rope or dope. And then you got to get ready to do your stuff. And some of the stuff he's throwing at you, you got to learn how to block it. Everybody hear what I'm saying? You see that roundhouse coming, you're going, bam, no, you're going to block that one. Hello? And say he ain't going to hit you. You don't let him get to you. You got to learn how to take them grazes. You got to duck a little bit, weave and bob. And wait for that door to open. And when he think you're going to go this way, and then he get ready to set up, and you get him to leave, then you fool him. Sometimes you got to get in and just put that jackhammer on him. You can't just hit him one time. You can't just like pow, no. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Then pow, 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 then pow, pow, down, then pow, then go under. Look for that shot. You know you're going to get hit every now and then, but you're looking for that shot, that space. And you're keeping it fed with that left.